The Gem-Encrusted Box. In a bustling market square of the kingdom of Estival, a peculiar man appeared one day. He wore a tattered cloak patched with colorful scraps, and his sharp, piercing eyes sparkled like embers beneath the brim of his wide-brimmed hat. From a rickety wooden cart pulled by an old mule, he presented his wares, shimmering baubles, trinkets of odd design, and most notably, a stunning box of polished mahogany, inlaid with glittering gemstones. "Behold, the wonder of wonders!" the man proclaimed, holding the box high for all to see. "This treasure contains a secret so valuable, it could change your life forever. For a price, you may hold the box, the key, and the secret within." Curiosity buzzed among the townsfolk like bees in a hive. "What's inside the box?" someone called out. The man grinned, his teeth unnervingly white against his weathered face. "Ah, that is the mystery. I cannot tell you, for the enchantment binds me to secrecy. But know this, the contents are worth far more than gold." Many came close, inspecting the box, tempted by its allure. But the price he asked was steep, so steep that one by one, they shook their heads and walked away. Days turned into weeks, and the salesman traveled from village to village. Whispers of the mysterious box spread like wildfire. Yet, no one dared pay the price for an unseen treasure, until one evening in a quiet hamlet, a young man named Ulrich approached the salesman. Ulrich was a farmer's son, with little to his name but an unyielding sense of adventure. "I'll buy the box," he said, setting down a satchel of coins. It was his life savings, gathered over years of hard toil. The salesman's grin widened. "Are you certain? You do not even know what lies within?" Ulrich nodded. "I have no need for certainty. Life itself is a gamble, and I feel this is a risk worth taking." The transaction was swift. The salesman handed over the box and a small, ornate key, then disappeared into the twilight without another word. The box's secret. That night, in the light of his humble hearth, Ulrich turned the key and opened the box. A burst of light filled the room, and from the box emerged a tiny figure with gossamer wings. She was a fairy, no taller than his hand, with golden hair that shimmered like sunlight and eyes that sparkled like dew. "Oh, thank you!" the fairy cried, her voice chiming like bells. She flew in a dizzying circle before landing gently on Ulrich's shoulder. "You've freed me!" Ulrich blinked in astonishment. "Freed you? What were you doing in there?" The fairy explained that she had been captured by the salesman, who was no ordinary man but a wicked wizard. He had imprisoned her in the box and enchanted it so she could not escape or move far from it. Only someone who willingly purchased the box, not knowing what it held, could break the spell. "My name is Lyriel," the fairy said, her delicate wings fluttering. "For your kindness, I pledge myself to you. I shall be your companion and guide. Together, we shall seek the land of fairies, where wonders abound." The journey to the land of fairies. With Lyriel as his guide, Ulrich embarked on a journey unlike any he could have imagined. They crossed the misty Vale forest, where trees whispered secrets to one another and shadows danced in the moonlight. They climbed the glass mountains, whose peaks sparkled like diamonds and where the air was thin and filled with magic. Through their journey, Lyriel proved to be an invaluable friend. She knew the hidden paths, warned of dangers, and used her magic to aid them. When they were caught in a fierce storm, she conjured a bubble of protection. When they faced bandits, she wove illusions that sent the thieves fleeing in terror. Finally, after many trials, they reached the land of fairies. It was a realm of breathtaking beauty, where the sky shimmered with ever-changing hues and flowers sang in harmony with the wind. Liriel was welcomed back with open arms, and Ulrich was honored as her savior. Adventures in the Fairy Realm. In the land of fairies, Ulrich discovered his true potential. Liriel introduced him to the Council of Seasons, who entrusted him with missions that bridged the fairy and human worlds. Together, they outwitted a troll king who sought to invade the fairy realm, retrieved a stolen artifact from the labyrinthine Cave of Echoes, and uncovered a plot by the wicked wizard to seize control of the realm. Through it all, Ulrich and Liriel's bond deepened. What began as a simple act of courage had blossomed into a friendship that defied the boundaries of their worlds. A new beginning. When the time came for Ulrich to return home, the fairies offered him a boon, a seed of the eternal tree, which would grow into a magical sanctuary in his world. Liriel chose to accompany him, her wings shimmering with joy. As they planted the seed in the meadow near Ulrich's home, a tree unlike any other grew, its branches stretching to the heavens and its roots reaching into the fairy realm. It became a symbol of their unbreakable bond and the magic that could flourish when two worlds came together. And so, Ulrich and Liriel continued their adventures, spreading wonder and kindness wherever they went, their story told in whispers and songs across the land. Return of the Sorcerer. The tranquility of the land of fairies was shattered one moonlit night when whispers spread through the realm. The wicked sorcerer who had once imprisoned Liriel had returned. He sought revenge and had begun capturing fairies, binding them with dark enchantments. His goal was clear: to drain their magic and harness it for his own sinister purposes. Liriel and Ulrich were among the first to hear of his return. "We must stop him," Liriel declared, her wings trembling with resolve. "The sorcerer's power grows with each fairy he traps. If we don't act, the entire realm will be in peril." Armed with courage, cleverness, and the bonds of their friendship, they set out to confront the sorcerer and protect the fairy realm. What followed were a series of daring adventures that would cement their names in the annals of fairy lore. 1. The rescue at the Crystal Spire. The sorcerer had captured a group of fairies and imprisoned them in the Crystal Spire, a towering structure that magnified magic. Liriel and Ulrich devised a plan to infiltrate the spire. Disguising themselves with Liriel's illusions, they posed as a pair of enchanted birds, flitting through the sorcerer's defenses. Inside, they found the captured fairies trapped in shimmering crystal cages. Liriel used her magic to weaken the enchantments while Ulrich distracted the sorcerer by triggering a series of magical traps. As the sorcerer chased after the trap's false alarms, Liriel shattered the cages, and the fairies flew free. Together, they combined their magic to drive the sorcerer from the spire, forcing him to retreat in fury. 2. The hunt for the moonlit tome. The fairies revealed that the sorcerer's power stemmed from an ancient artifact, the moonlit tome, hidden in the forgotten glade. Ulrich and Liriel set out to find it before the sorcerer could use its power to enslave the realm. Their journey took them through a perilous bog where the air buzzed with whispers of deceit. Guided by Liriel's keen sense of magic, they found the glade, guarded by a sentient tree named Elderbark. To prove their worth, Ulrich had to solve a riddle, while Liriel provided magical aid to awaken the tree's dormant heart. With Elderbark's blessing, they claimed the moonlit tome and hid it in a sanctuary only fairies could access. The sorcerer arrived moments too late, his wrath shaking the forest as they escaped. 3. The battle at Mistvale Falls. The sorcerer, furious at his repeated failures, launched an open assault on Mistvale Falls, a sacred site where fairies renewed their magic. He summoned shadowy creatures to overwhelm the fairies guarding the falls. Ulrich and Liriel led the charge to defend the falls. Ulrich, wielding a staff imbued with fairy magic, fought alongside the fairy warriors, while Liriel used her light magic to dispel the shadows. Together, they devised a clever strategy to redirect the river's flow temporarily, cutting off the sorcerer's creatures and forcing him to retreat once more. For the puzzle of the starry cavern. Desperate to strengthen his power, the sorcerer sought the starry cavern, where ancient constellations imbued the walls with celestial magic. If he succeeded, he would become nearly unstoppable. Ulrich and Liriel raced to the cavern and discovered it guarded by a labyrinth of shifting walls and glowing puzzles. They worked together to solve each challenge. Ulrich's sharp wit and Liriel's magical insights were the perfect combination. At the heart of the cavern, they encountered the sorcerer, who had begun absorbing the celestial magic. Liriel created an illusion to distract him, while Ulrich disrupted the magic with a counterspell they'd learned from the Council of Seasons. The cavern's energies turned on the sorcerer, forcing him to flee before he could claim its power. 5. The Phantom's Lair. Rumors surfaced that the sorcerer had allied with a powerful phantom, a spirit bound to a forgotten tower. Ulrich and Liriel ventured to the tower, where they faced eerie traps and haunting illusions. Inside, they discovered the phantom was a cursed fairy who had been manipulated by the sorcerer. Liriel's compassion and Ulrich's bravery convinced the phantom to rebel against the sorcerer. In a climactic battle, the phantom used its spectral powers to weaken the sorcerer, allowing Ulrich and Liriel to banish him temporarily from the realm. 6. The Final Showdown at the Eternal Tree. The sorcerer's final attempt to dominate the fairy realm was a direct attack on the Eternal Tree, the link between the human and fairy worlds. Using all his remaining power, he summoned a storm of dark magic to destroy it. Ulrich and Liriel, joined by their fairy allies, stood in defense of the tree. The battle was fierce, with the sorcerer's dark spells clashing against the fairy's light. Ulrich climbed the tree to protect its heart, where he used the moonlit tome to unleash a powerful counterspell. As the sorcerer's storm raged, Liriel rallied the fairies to combine their magic, creating a protective shield around the tree. With a final, desperate effort, Ulrich's spell turned the sorcerer's magic back on him, shattering his power and banishing him from the realm for good. A new era of harmony. With the sorcerer defeated, peace returned to the land of fairies. Ulrich and Liriel became legends, celebrated for their bravery and unshakable friendship. Together, they helped rebuild the fairy realm, fostering bonds between fairies and humans. Though many adventures awaited them, none were as grand as the tale of the wicked sorcerer's defeat, a story that would be told for generations in both the human and fairy worlds. Adventures beyond the fairy realm. With peace restored to the land of fairies, Ulrich and Liriel felt the call of the wider world. The Eternal Tree, their magical sanctuary, served as a gateway to other realms. Together, they embarked on a grand journey to explore lands whispered about in legends. Their adventures in each land were as unique as the people and creatures who called them home. 1. The Land of Goblins, the Trickster's Maze. The Land of Goblins was a bustling underground realm illuminated by bioluminescent fungi and glittering crystals. Goblins were known for their cunning and love of riddles, and Ulrich and Liriel soon found themselves in the Trickster's Bazaar, a chaotic market where everything from enchanted trinkets to bottled storms was for sale. While exploring, they stumbled into a trap set by a mischievous goblin named Grizzle. "Solve my maze, or lose your way forever," he cackled, vanishing into thin air. The maze was a twisting network of tunnels and illusions. Liriel's fairy magic illuminated false paths, while Ulrich deciphered goblin riddles etched into the walls. Along the way, they befriended a kind-hearted goblin named Twizzle, who had grown tired of Grizzle's antics. With Twizzle's insider knowledge and their own ingenuity, they outwitted the maze and turned the tables on Grizzle, who grudgingly admitted defeat. The goblins celebrated their cleverness with a grand feast, and Twizzle gifted them a crystal compass that could guide them through any dark place. To the Land of Elementals, the Trial of Flames. The Land of Elementals was a place of raw power, where fire, water, earth, and air converged in a perpetual dance. Ulrich and Liriel were welcomed by the Firekin, beings of living flame who resided in molten caverns. To earn the Firekin's trust, they had to pass the Trial of Flames, a rite of passage involving 3 challenges: courage, wisdom, and selflessness. In the first trial, Ulrich braved a river of fire, using the crystal compass to find safe footing. In the second, Liriel deciphered an ancient riddle carved into obsidian walls, unlocking a chamber of sacred flames. The final trial required them to save a young Imberling trapped in a collapsing cavern. Working together, Liriel shielded the Imberling with her light magic while Ulrich navigated through the falling debris. Their success earned them the Firekin's respect, and they were granted a shard of living flame, a token of their bravery and friendship. 3. The Land of Ratman, the Silver Scepter. The Land of Ratman was a sprawling labyrinth of tunnels beneath an ancient city. The Ratmen were wary but not inherently hostile, and Ulrich and Liriel soon learned that their kingdom was in turmoil. The Silver Scepter, a symbol of their ruler's authority, had been stolen by a renegade faction. Ulrich and Liriel offered to help retrieve the scepter. Their search led them through treacherous tunnels and into the lair of the renegades. Using Twizzle's crystal compass and Liriel's illusions, they evaded traps and found the scepter hidden in a chamber guarded by a monstrous rat beast. Ulrich distracted the creature while Liriel used her magic to retrieve the scepter. In the ensuing chaos, the renegade leader attempted to escape, but Ulrich confronted him, convincing him to surrender peacefully. The Ratmen were grateful, and their queen rewarded the pair with a magical cloak woven from moonlight, which granted invisibility when worn. 4. The Land of Water Dragons, the Pearl of Tides. The Land of Water Dragons was a breathtaking underwater realm, accessible only through a magical portal beneath a crystal-clear lake. Liriel's magic allowed Ulrich to breathe underwater as they marveled at coral cities and shimmering schools of fish. The dragons, serpentine and majestic, guarded their sacred treasure, the Pearl of Tides. But the pearl had been stolen by a group of sea raiders. Without it, the tides would lose their balance, wreaking havoc on both the water realm and the surface world. Ulrich and Liriel tracked the raiders to a sunken ship. With the help of a young water dragon named Srafel, they devised a daring plan. Liriel cast illusions to confuse the raiders, while Ulrich and Srafel retrieved the pearl. The dragons celebrated their bravery with a magnificent display of bioluminescent magic, and Srafel gifted them a scale imbued with the power to summon rain. 5. The Land of Angels, the Harmony Song. Their final journey brought them to the Land of Angels, a realm of radiant light and celestial harmony. The angels, luminous beings with golden wings, lived in a floating city suspended by glowing clouds. The archangel Srafel welcomed them warmly, but the realm was facing an unusual crisis. The Song of Harmony, a sacred melody that sustained their city, had faltered. Without it, the city's balance would crumble. Ulrich and Liriel joined a quest to find the lost verse of the song, hidden in the celestial archives. The archives were guarded by ethereal guardians who tested their purity of heart and intention. Ulrich's determination and Liriel's unshakable spirit proved them worthy. With the verse restored, Liriel sang alongside the angels, her voice blending seamlessly with their celestial choir. The Song of Harmony was restored, and the angels declared the duo honorary guardians of their realm, gifting them a feather that carried the blessing of protection. A world of endless adventures. As they returned to the eternal tree, Ulrich and Liriel marveled at the wonders they had seen and the friends they had made. Each token they carried, the crystal compass, the shard of flame, the moonlight cloak, the dragon scale, and the angel's feather, reminded them of their adventures and the bonds they had forged. But their journey was far from over. The world was vast, and its mysteries called to them. With hearts full of wonder and courage, they vowed to continue exploring, knowing that together, they could face anything.